We begin with a little What You Got All-Star Starters Edition. Trey, you got a few questions regarding potential 2017 NBA All-Star Game starters.
Yeah, and you see right here, these are our Eastern Conference All-Star starters. We've got 3 locks in the front court with LeBron, Giannis, and Jimmy Butler, but the guards are the hard part, and we're going to start north of the wall, where both Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan have been great for Toronto all season long. But who's the more deserving Raptor, Lowry or DeRozan? What you got?
I think it's Kyle Lowry. DeMar DeRozan does what he does very, very well, but Lowry does more across the board. DeRozan scores 6 more points a game than Lowry, but Lowry has double the amount of assists. He's the better defender, and I think his greatness actually makes DeMar better because Lowry shoots so many threes. He's up there in terms of threes per game, and he almost hits half of them, and half of his shots are 3 points. So that gives DeMar the space that he needs. Sure. Kyle is shooting at an incredible rate, 44.4% from three-point line. So I think that helps DeMar, and Lowry just does more across the board.
Yeah, I hate the word deserving because they're both 2-time All-Stars who are playing even better this year. So they're both deserving, and they're going to both be in the All-Star game. Who's more important to the Raptors? I agree with you. I think it's Kyle Lowry. The numbers are bonkers. The best way to wrap your head around Kyle Lowry's season so far is this. He's about 22, 7, and 5. Tass already pointed out the three-point shooting, 44%. He's 48% from the floor and 83% from the line. Those numbers are near identical to Steph Curry's first MVP season. That's how great they are. They're really unbelievable. He's on one of the best teams in the East. They're both great, but I give the edge to Lowry as well.
Yeah, I feel bad for DeMar because he's going to be left out of the starting lineup, I think, because he's had an unbelievable season. And a lot of people question whether or not last season he'd peaked and was that the best we're going to see. And this year he has taken his game to another level.
No doubt.
And he deserves that recognition, which he will get. It's just the starter is a little bit more of a cherry on the cake rather than just being in the All-Star game. So it's tough, but I agree. I go with Kyle Lowry, but DeMar has just been incredible. And you've seen a couple of those performances where DeMar has really taken over at the end of the game. And, you know, his game is not a sexy game as far as the mid-range. Not a lot of guys play it. He plays it probably better than anyone else in the league. So he's been fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know how he could be better, but Kyle Lowry, I think, improved his three-point shooting to help out DeMar because DeMar doesn't shoot the three-point shot.
Right.
He takes 6% of his shots inside the arc. Or outside the arc, I should say, 94 inside the arc. So Lowry takes it outside there to give him his space that he needs, and then he goes 1-on-1, 2-on-2 with a pick and roll and makes it happen.
And he feels so confident against pretty much any defender right now, DeMar, that he can get to his spot. And that's incredible growth from him.
Well, this is a what you got. So Trey has the ultimate answer. Is it Lowry or DeRozan is the more deserving Raptor?
Oh, you guys were so close. It's actually DeMar DeRozan.
Wow.
He's in the midst of the best scoring season in Raptors history. He's averaging more points than Vince Carter ever did as a Raptor, than Chris Bosh ever did as a Raptor. He's number 1 in usage rate. He's got a higher PER than Kyle Lowry. He's the number 1 option on the best scoring team in basketball.
He's got a higher PER. Well, Lowry has a higher win shares, net rating, offensive rating.
I don't know what those are, though.
Oh, man. I hope Michael Rappaport's not watching.
Look, I think he just...
I hope John Schumann's not watching. That guy got so mad when I checked DeRozan.
Just eye test, though. If you took DeRozan off the Raptors, Lowry is going to keep that team humming along. He's on some of the best offensive lines with the bench guys in the league. I think he's just more important. I think it's Lowry. All right,
anyways, besides the Raptors, it's been a great season for guards in the East. So who's your final guard in the East? Kyrie Irving, Isaiah Thomas, Kemba Walker, or John Wall? What you got?
This is great.
Now, this is where it gets difficult, in my opinion.
I think they all make the team, but as far as the starters go, it came down to Isaiah Thomas and John Wall for me. John Wall, I think, does more for his team. Isaiah Thomas scores more than John Wall, but obviously John Wall's in double-digit in assists. And I think the defense, out of all these guys we're talking about, John Wall is incredible on the defensive end. He doesn't have, unlike Isaiah Thomas, who has a Marcus Smart, Avery Bradley around him, he doesn't have that. He has to do it himself. He leads the league in assists. I go with him. I think he just has to do more for his team, even though, he scores 5 less points a game. It doesn't matter to me because the assists are, 4 more per game. The steals are far higher. He is just an all-around better talent than Isaiah Thomas, who is the fourth quarter assassin.
He's been great, John Wall, and he did get off to a slow start. The Wizards did too, and he's been excellent of late. I went with Kyrie Irving, though, because I think his season is being overlooked simply because he plays with LeBron James. The numbers are great. 24 and 6 a game. The shooting is unbelievable. He's basically at 50, 40, 90. Not quite there, but he's not far off. Against those other teams, Charlotte, Toronto, Washington, and Boston, the other guards he's going up against, 8-0, and he steps up against those. You look at his numbers in those games. He is fantastic. Also, the defense is not as great as John Wall. I'll give you that. But again, his defense gets overlooked as far as how bad he is. He had this reputation as a bad defender, and people say he hasn't improved, and they don't give him any credit at all. Offensively, he's fantastic. His team's winning. I think he deserves it.
Yeah, I think it really does come down. You said it came down for you to IT and Wall. I went with Isaiah Thomas because it's really how much do you really care about defensively with these guys? Because there's no doubt Wall is a step above all of them, especially Isaiah Thomas. But I can't overlook a guy that's 5'9", who has scored at least 15 points in the fourth quarter.
You can overlook him. You're taller than 5'9".
Well, yeah, I'm just over 5'9", I guess, closer to 5'11". But 28 points per game. 28 points per game, guys. I mean, we talked about it on yesterday's show. It's unbelievable, and I've said this before. You've got to go watch this guy play live. It's unreal. He's just a treat to watch play live in the way he's taking over games. And his team is better. His team is better than the Wizards as well, which when you get down to the nitty-gritty, that sort of like comes into consideration for me. So I go IT. Tass has got Wall. Lee's going with Kyrie Irving, playing the Mo Williams with LeBron. What's the answer?
Nah, I'm going with Isaiah Thomas. Right. I was a Kemba Walker voter, but if you're averaging 28 points per game, you should start the All-Star game just like DeMar DeRozan is.
So there's the starters, East All-Star starters. The difference is at the guard positions. We agree on the front court there. But let's, I believe we have one question when it comes to the Western Conference team.
How sexy is our photo shoot there?
Things are a bit easier in the Western Conference. We got 4 locks with MVP favorites. James Harden and Russell Westbrook as our guards, while Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard hold down spots by virtue of being the best players on the 2 best teams in the West in the front court. But that final West front court spot's pretty tough. There are a few candidates, so tell me who's getting that final spot. Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins, Draymond Green, or Marc Gasol? What you got?
Wait. Where's Hayward and Gobert in the mix?
Hey, man, we only got 4 slots.
I want to make it even more complicated. I think it's Anthony Davis.
I agree.
You do?
Yeah,
I
agree.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers are fantastic for him, and the wins are starting to come. He got off to a terrible start. They were 0-8. Since then, 16 and 18. Not too bad.
But he didn't get off to a terrible start.
No, he didn't. He's been putting up incredible numbers.
From game one.
And it really comes down to opinion of how much weight you put into wins. Some of us put more into it than others. And if his team was, say, 6 and 35 or whatever, I probably wouldn't put him into the team. But his team is now starting to win and starting to improve. They're not far out of the playoffs.
All right, so we all say Anthony Davis. Trey, what says you?
Yeah, we literally all say Anthony.
Wow, there it is.
Winning doesn't matter for the All-Star game. Just get those points.
Well, look, Cousins' numbers very, very similar to AD, but they've both been unreal. They're all going to make it eventually in the end. There's our starters for the West All-Star starters. I mean, it's a little confusing when we're called the starters, isn't it?
Yeah, no doubt.
Westbrook, Harden, Durant, Leonard, and Anthony Davis. But look, we officially find out on Thursday. Got an hour pregame selection show there on TNT before the doubleheader tips between the Wizards, Knicks, and Wolves Clippers. So we'll find out soon enough, and then guess what? We get to do it all over again with the reserves. That'll be fun.